Hey guys, it's Katie and Dave here with RV Chronicles.
This is take 15.
We are coming to you
25.
today
I think
with
it's like take 25.
special edition Medical Monday that we are having a lot of trouble getting out. I don't know why. I think we're out of practice of this video thing, but here it goes. So today we are talking about the nurse from Utah who was arrested, and we didn't really want to wait until next Monday to talk about it.
No.
Because it's kind of an important event, and we wanted to take time and talk about it with you guys. Yeah. So, here we go. Okay, so we're going to start off just showing a quick clip. Basically, the background of the story is there was a person running from the cops on a high-speed car chase, and he went into the oncoming lanes and hit a truck head-on. Tractor trailer burst in flames, and the driver of that truck was critically injured, brought to the hospital to the burn unit, and the driver of the car that was being chased actually died. So now the law enforcement are trying to come to the hospital, the University of Utah, to collect a blood sample from the victim of the crash.
Of which we don't understand really why they are so insistent in collecting this blood from an innocent person.
Yeah.
That makes no sense.
That's the person.
Other than he was driving a commercial vehicle, and I have a CDL, and anytime you're in an accident, you do have to give blood at some point to see if you were actually under the influence. I think what they were trying to do was find out if he was actually under the influence of anything so that they would not be liable for them doing a high-speed chase, which the guy then injured this truck driver, which so happened to be a police officer himself. He was a reserve police officer for a town not too far away from where this happened.
Yeah. So in this video, you'll see the officers coming in. Alex, the nurse, I believe she's the charge nurse on this burn unit, she's explaining to them the policy, which is the law.
It's the law, not just policy, but it's the law.
Yeah, and there were 3 ways that they could legally obtain this blood. One being if they had an electronic warrant, other being if the patient were under arrest, and the third reason or way is that the patient would give consent. Now this patient was obviously unconscious, unable to give consent. So none of those ways were in place. So let's run the video, and then we'll come back and talk about it.
Yeah, we'll come back and talk. So.
Okay.
Okay, so that's kind of disturbing, yes.
Yeah.
To the extreme.
Yeah.
It's very disturbing. And I know when Katie saw it for the first time, she was watching it, and I'm like, what are you watching? And so we both started to watch it together, and I became very irate. All I got to say, without getting into police bashing, because guys, first of all, before we start this, we love police officers.
We do. We do.
We stop all the time. We just did it, about a month ago for an officer here in the local area. He was parked in a parking lot. We were on our motorcycle, and I rode over, and we just started talking to him and thanked him for his service, thanked him for doing what he's doing. Being a police officer, seriously, is a hard job. There's going to be a lot of people coming on and making probably some rude comments about me saying that. But let me explain one thing before y'all do that. How many times did you as a nurse or you doing some kind of profession go to work and you think about maybe there could be, like in Katie's case, being a nurse, somebody that became irritated with something that happened within the hospital, something that goes on, that would trigger somebody to become very irate and not be thinking right, go home, get a firearm, and come in and start shooting around and take your life and start shooting at you because they're pissed off. How many times do you think about that? Maybe once in a while, right? Once in a while. Police officers think about that every day, that they strap on that uniform and put on that badge and go to work. They don't know if they're coming home that night. So, not all officers are hateful and ignorant. It's just like every profession, you have some bad eggs. This guy here, in my opinion, is a bad egg. But we love police officers. We thank them all the time. We pray for them as often as that they will let us pray with them. And so we do not hate officers. We do not hate police officers. We have a lot of respect for them. So let's make that very clear before we go any further here. Because I am irritated with this particular officer and some other officers that were involved with this here particular situation.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. So when I first watched the video, I think I had a sense of like a shock. I mean, I couldn't believe what I was watching. I'm like, here is this woman, Alex. She comes to work on a normal day. She's doing her job, abiding by the law, taking care of the patients best way she can. And here she finds herself in the middle of this situation. And all of a sudden it escalates to the point of her being arrested and handcuffed and pushed into a police car.
Illegally, at that.
I was just like, I cannot believe this. I was just shocked. So like my first emotion was shock. And then it turned into anger. And then it turned into, oh my gosh, this could be me. Then it became, I'm listening to her scream. Yeah. I'm like, she's screaming. And I'm just like, she must be terrified. If that were me in that position, I would be terrified. I mean, I just can't even imagine. It's just awful.
Yes.
So that was our first.
And with that,
reaction.
that was our first reaction. I mean, very upset. I mean, I'm going to say, me being a guy, it's not just my first reaction. It's my second reaction. It's my third reaction. I'm angry. This guy had no business doing what he did. And that's what irritates me, is when people think they're above the law. Now, what I was going to say here a little bit earlier is I'm also irritated with the other officers that were there. Why did they not stop him when he was breaking the law himself? If I would have been there and I would have been an officer, that brotherhood thing is out the window. You break the law, it's out the window. So I just got a nudge on my side here, so I need to calm down. But anyways, I would have arrested him.
It's very escalated when
I would have arrested him. It's because law and order is going out the window today. And people, we need to get back to basics. But anyways,
so
I was upset with some of the officers first. But what the other thing then later on, which we don't have a video clip of, but you can find it on YouTube or on the web. There's even more conversation from another officer that was going into total rogue, bogus explanations of things of why they were doing what they're doing on breaking the law. And basically they were telling her, you should have just let me break the law, and then if we didn't obtain the blood legally, then there would be a lawsuit and then it would just disappear anyway. So why didn't you just let us do what we needed to do? Thank God for this young lady standing up for the rights of her patient. And that's where we're going to go with this.
Yes, being a medical show, we want to talk about the nursing aspect. And from my thoughts, I mean, I look at Alex and think, wow, what a great patient advocate she was that day. I mean, she stood up for her patient. Her patient was obviously unconscious and was totally vulnerable to the whole situation. And she stood up and she said, no, I am not giving you the blood. And it just kept escalating. She had supervisors on the phone. She went up her chain of command and had her supervisors on the phone. She printed out the policy and was reading it to them. And she was just went way above and beyond, well,
for these officers, she did. She was doing her job for them.
Yeah, she did. And I watched an interview with her, and she said, well, any nurse in that situation would have done what I did. And I think that's a very generous comment, and it really made me try to look within myself, like, would I? I mean, I hope I would. I mean, she really, I mean, she fought, and they were coming at her, and she stood her ground, and she said, no, that patient's blood is that patient's blood. That is that person's property. Blood is not something to just be thrown around and given to whoever wants it and, you know, tested for whatever we feel like testing for it. I mean, that belongs to that patient. So,
especially when the law says you can't do it anyway.
Yeah, I mean, it just, you know, she really, I mean, after I got over the shock and the outrage of it, I thought, wow, what a great patient advocate. And I think that's something that we as nurses can really take from Alex and put into our own practice. And, you know, whether it be advocating for our patient against another nurse, possibly, or doctors. You know, how many times do we stand up for our patients? A doctor might want to try a certain medicine, and then the patient says, oh no, I can't take that, I don't want to take that, and so we go back to the doctor and say, no, can we try something else, can we try this, you know, or just, you know, different things like that. Or even with the patient's own family, there have been many times I've had to you know, talk with the family, and here I have this patient who's unconscious, you know, intubated and unable to talk, but yet they have a living will, you know, an older person, and they say, no, I don't want intubate, I don't want a peg tube, I don't want this and that, but yet, what are we doing? We're intubating them, we're giving them a peg tube, we're doing everything that they didn't want to do. And, you know, I'll sit with the family and I'll say, is this what your mom wanted? Is this what dad wants? And, you know, sometimes they'll look at me and they'll say, well, no. And, you know, we like, then let's do what mom wants, you know. So it's just, as nurses, we just have to really stand up for our patient and say, no, this is what they want, and we want to do the best thing that we can do for them.
You know, one of the things that I want to point out, you know, with Katie going through, you know, explaining you guys as nurses, or in any situation where the officer becomes like this guy did, and they're doing something that's illegal, they're doing something and they're trying to arrest you, and they're doing something totally illegal. You know, I know you're going to be, maybe at first you might be upset or angry or scared or whatever. But one, I want to thank, you know, Alex for standing her ground. Because here's the scary part, and I hate to say this. Again, I'm not being police bashing, but when you have rogue people that go off and do this kind of stuff in law enforcement, they also have the power and the authority to, not authority, but they have the power to delete things and make things disappear, and then make things be said that aren't what's happening. Thank goodness that this stuff was not deleted, that it was on camera from the hospital, so that they did delete body cams. There would have been some serious problems. I think there are going to be some serious issues coming out of this, because this officer had no right to do what he did. In fact, it was he assaulted her. But also, what I'm trying to say is, I hope that we all can, you know, if Katie's ever in that situation, I hope that she is able to stand her ground, being scared, but stand her ground in that everything that would come out of it, the truth would come out, you know, and things would not be, you know, disappearing, like videos, you know, body cams and whatnot wouldn't be deleted, the video from them, and the truth would come out, so that it would be able to set her free. Can you imagine if there was no video of all this happening, and it was all deleted somehow? They could say whatever they wanted to, and they could make it stick. So with me saying that, I'm just trying to say, I know there's fears there. I know that those things are there. So you just got to have to stand your ground, I guess, and hope and pray. You know, don't fight the arrest. Don't resist. Allow it to do whatever and happen. But at the end, fight it. You know, not there, fight it in the courtroom. Fight it, in the courtroom. That's the best I can say, because it is a scary situation. I mean, that poor woman was, if you listen to her interview, she was freaking out. She was scared to death.
Yeah.
And all she was doing was being a good citizen and following the law.
And to my knowledge, unless I didn't hear it in the video, he never told her for what grounds she was being arrested for. He just kept saying, "We're done here, we're done, we're done," and he pulled her and handcuffed her and pushed her against the wall and pushed her out the hospital door. And
so you're saying you're being arrested because you said no.
Yeah, because
you're the one telling me no.
Yeah, it just and to my knowledge, when you're being arrested, you need to be told why you're being arrested and be read your rights.
Yeah.
And he just manhandled her, pushed her around, handcuffed her, and pushed her out the door. It was just so. To me, it's still so disturbing to watch. I just can't even.
Yeah.
It's so disturbing.
So, as nurses or anywhere in the professional healthcare field, we're going to encourage you guys to respond here. Let's talk about this. Let's get some ideas. If you're angry and upset about it, please let some comments down below. I just ask to be kind of respectful with some of the comments, but let your anger vent. But
this isn't something that just brings up a lot of emotion in people, I think, and there's a lot of opinions and outrages and just a lot of feelings around it all. So
a lot.
Feel free to share your thoughts on this all, and
let's talk about it. Let's strike up some conversations here and see if there's any other ideas or things that we're even missing and not thinking of right now, sharing on the video.
No,
so
I'm sure.
Let's talk about them. So that's pretty much what we have to share.
Yep, that's it for today. So thanks for watching, as always.
Thanks for watching.
Chime in and check back in, and feel free to watch the rest of our videos.
Yep. This weekend we are going to do a real quick video of us of the new campground we're at.
Yeah, we did move, and
So
I
we're gonna-
did say we were going to put that up on video, and we didn't. I apologize. But we are in a new campground here in Pennsylvania. So once it stops raining, we'll show you around.
It's raining. Yeah, it's ugly.
Ever since we got here. But anyways,
So
it's all right.
that's pretty much it. So
Yeah. Thanks for watching.
thanks for watching. Bye for now.